Let's think about this for a second. There are things we automatically reach for when caring for a baby, like a pacifier or wrapping them up snug in a swaddle. They seem totally normal. Go-to comfort tools. They help soothe the baby, help them sleep, and give parents a moment of peace. But what if the very things we use to comfort are also shaping that baby's development in ways we never intended? What if that pacifier or swaddle is not just calming them, but also interfering with how their brain wires itself, how their posture forms, even how their face grows? You might start to notice small signs. A baby whose mouth is always slightly open, a jaw that seems less active, a facial structure that feels just a little off balance. Subtle things you wouldn't normally link to comfort tools, but the connection is there. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on this, exploring how pacifiers and tight swaddling influence early development, from brain wiring to physical symmetry. Let's start with the pacifier. When a baby sucks on one for long stretches of time, the tongue is pushed down and flat. That matters more than we realize because the tongue is meant to rest up against the roof of the mouth. That pressure helps shape the upper jaw. It's how normal oral posture is formed. When the pacifier holds the tongue low, that process gets disrupted. Now, combine that with tight swaddling. When a baby is wrapped up too tightly, they can't move. They lose the ability to wiggle, kick, reach, and turn. Movements we take for granted, but those little movements are not random. They stimulate receptors in the skin, joints, and muscles, providing critical feedback to the brain. That feedback is what wires posture, coordination, and balance. So when you take away the movement and silence the mouth with a pacifier, you're cutting off both streams of information. The brain goes quiet. It doesn't get the input it needs to build a strong sensory map. The mouth is packed with nerves, the lips, the tongue, constantly sending signals. But when a pacifier overrides the baby's urge to explore, make faces, or babble, it reduces the activation of key cranial nerves. These nerves are direct communication lines between the brain and the face. And without that activation, oral development slows down, jaw development gets compromised, and postural signals go fuzzy. Together, swaddling and pacifier overuse reduce both the quality and quantity of sensory input. The baby's system becomes quieter, less engaged, less organized. It's not just a mouth issue, it's a brain issue. These early movements activate the cerebellum, the vestibular system, the reticulospinal tracts, systems that control balance, posture, coordination, even emotional regulation. Block those movements and the signal fades. The brain is left in the dark, and that wiring extends to the face. The mouth is one of the most neurologically rich areas of the body. When a baby cries, sucks, coos, or moves their tongue, they're activating the cranial nerves that shape the jaw, the bite, and the symmetry of the face. But when a pacifier holds the tongue low, there's less jaw movement. Over time, this restricts palate growth, narrows the dental arch, and leads to bite issues and structural imbalances. It's not just cosmetic, it affects function. Thumb sucking, same thing. It's not just a habit, it's shaping the airway, the face, and even posture. And here's where it gets deeper. Occlusion, the way the teeth fit together, sends feedback to the brain. It helps the brain understand head position, and that position controls everything below it. The trigeminal nerve connects directly to parts of the brain that manage balance and coordination. If the bite is off, muscle tension shifts, head position changes, posture adapts, and not in a good way. Yes, pacifiers and thumb-sucking calm babies. But just because it calms them doesn't mean it's harmless. Prolonged sucking overrides tongue mobility, disrupts oral muscle tone, and sends distorted feedback to the brain. That's why we created a sensory-safe solution to interrupt the habit, without silencing the brain. No pacifiers, no thumb sucking, no guilt, just the right input at the right time. And for parents of older children, ages 6 and up, there's another tool worth mentioning, the functional activator. This tool works with the child's natural tongue posture. It helps bring the tongue up toward the roof of the mouth where it belongs. Why is that important? Because the tongue plays a direct role in shaping the jaw, influencing the dental arch, and even anchoring postural reflexes. Share this with someone who needs to hear it. The pacifier is not just soothing the baby, It's shaping their brain.